Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. Good morning. I read an article yesterday at my wife's suggestion about AI, artificial intelligence. Let's see. Got to thinking about the first time that I was aware that something like artificial intelligence could exist. I think it was probably in the early to mid 70s, watching Star Trek, when the captain talked to the computer on the Starship Enterprise. And then again, probably in The Next Generation. I'm not sure that you would consider that artificial intelligence, but that was probably what it was intended to be in the show. So the article was saying, it started off talking about somebody gets a phone call and they're talking to their mother, and then they realize, oh, this isn't my mother. This is artificial intelligence acting like my mother, and that it was a scam. Well, so how I believe this works now is that they take all of the content that people put out, like this, what I'm doing right now. I've got plenty of videos out and plenty of audio, and they will take that and they will use it to make a composite of the person, and then the person can, and then the AI uses that composite to imitate the person. And that's how they will use it to run scams or make the person seem like they didn't make statements that they made. So this is the kind of future that we're facing, and according to this article, it kind of is affecting privacy to the point that we just won't have any privacies. I believe the vernacular that they use is deepfake. And they have deepfake interviews, deepfake videos of normal things, deepfake porn. There's a million ways that artificial intelligence can be used and misused to do this. So this is going to take the scamming to a whole new level, and that's what this article kind of centered on. And the scamming is going to be an issue. Let's say that the person didn't recognize that this was their mother, and the mother asked for some money and said, I need this really quick, if you could just send it to this account. And the person on the other end of the phone was not savvy enough to realize that that wasn't their mother, and they sent them, whatever money amount that they asked for, $5,500, whatever. So there's a few things that I think should be taken into account here. Number one, there's no way to stop this. This is going to happen. It's where we're headed. That's why actors are upset in Hollywood, because they want their image and likeness and voices and abilities to be their own. But beyond that, we're headed to could be a very dark place with AI. And it's worrisome. However, I think we can deal with it. I don't think it's going to be something that we can't deal with. I think that the people who are susceptible to this sort of thing are, as usual, going to be the elderly, who we'll have to start watching out for. Please, someone watch out for me when I get to that point. I think right now I'm handling things okay. But the elderly, basically the people who are not tech savvy, who cannot realize what is going on. It's important that you understand and you realize a few key things. A scammer is not going to call you and ask you to transfer money to your actual mother's savings account. they're going to ask you to transfer it to a strange account that you're not aware of and you've never seen. This requires us to have a little bit of knowledge about where, for instance, in this case, where our mother bank is. Maybe not her direct bank account, but you should never, ever send money to an account you're not completely aware of and the source of. So in this scenario, the AI would say, just send the money to this account or wire me the money. The number one way of fraud money transfers is services like Western Union, or by a card, pre-loaded credit card from like Walmart or something, or send it via a Cash App, like Cash App or Apple Pay or something like that. You don't know these people, don't do it. If you're not familiar, even if it's someone you think you know, don't do it. There's a deeper concern here as well. I got the itchies this morning. There's a deeper concern here as well, and that is the idea that things like title fraud and deed fraud and bank fraud is the responsibility of the consumer. I do not believe that is our responsibility. If someone charges your credit card and you didn't charge that credit card, it is on, my opinion, it is the facility who's making the charge. It's their responsibility to ensure that this is the person who's using this card, the owner of the card. So let's say you get a statement in the mail, and all of a sudden there's 15 charges on it for, I don't know, pick an establishment, Best Buy. They have some big ticket items. And you call up Best Buy and say, I didn't make these charges. Best Buy has to prove that you made those charges. And you can dispute that through the credit card company or your debit card company or bank, whatever. And those have to be returned to you. There's a bigger issue here now with the deed fraud. Evidently, there's some loopholes where people can take ownership of your house and you don't even know they're doing it. And I think those loopholes, number one, need to be closed. And number two, any judge that approves these deed transfers without seeing the person, without having proof that the person did this, I think he should be removed from the bench, he or she. And I think that those deeds should be restored to the rightful owner. Now, if that doesn't happen, then we really have lost quite a bit of freedom in America. That's not good. Anyway, that was an aside. Back to AI. I'm not really worried about AI. It's like anything else in the world. It can be used for good or evil. And I certainly hope that the people who are on the side of good can keep up with the people who are on the side of evil and abuse. And I hope that we can counteract it rather quickly. My biggest concern is the LLMs. I think they call it LLM, language learning machines. The AIs that are learning without morals. The AIs that are learning without the ability to tell right from wrong. From a human perspective, we have to have that check, that balance on AI. And right now, from what I understand, AI is learning from the internet. It is scavenging all its information from the internet, which means it's getting it from the absolutely best of humanity and the absolute dredges of humanity, the absolute worst lowlifes that we have. We are going from, the people who are doing the best things in the world for human beings and our fellow people, and then we have those who are just concentrating on hedonistic lifestyles. And it's very concerning. And I'm not sure, it can't be stopped. So it has to be countered. So this is the world, this is the cyber world. And in the cyber world, anything within the cyber world is possible. So I think within the cyber world, we're going to have supervillains. I hope we're going to have superheroes. I hope we're going to have AIs that at least are directed by ethical people. Even if they are, how do you say it, white hat hackers. I certainly hope we have superheroes within the AI community as well as supervillains. We can't stop the supervillains from coming into existence. I hope someone's working on the other side of things. Obviously, I can't. I'm not smart enough. Well, I'm not even smart enough to get my microphone to work with this camera system at the moment. Hopefully tomorrow or next week, I will have a new microphone set up, or an existing microphone set up that I can hook back to my camera and gimbal. That's a really shallow look at AI from a perspective of someone who's not very well informed about it, which is kind of what this rambling podcast is all about. I'm just looking at things from a common man's perspective. I've listened to a couple podcasts. I listened to, yesterday I listened to Brett Weinstein, trying to remember who he was talking to. And this came up as an aside, Tucker Carlson. I listened to those two talking, and it came up as a side thing about, the actual discussion was about atheism versus a belief in a theist belief. And they got sidetracked at one point to AI. And he kind of expressed some of the same views that I was expressing. And then my wife recommended I read that article, and I read that article, so kind of synchronicity there. Those two things bumped into each other, and it got me thinking, yeah, we have to have some kind of check and balance on AI. And I don't think that we can do it without AI, because we've got to have better AI on the good side of things than they have on the bad side of things. And that's going to be the check valve. There's no doubt about that. Well, I'm sure I'll talk more about this in the future after I do a little bit more digging, but it is Friday. Lord, I hope it's Friday. Let me look at my watch. It is Friday. Going to my brother's this weekend, gonna help him out with some stuff. He's starting up a business. I can't tell you how excited and proud I am for him. I hope that it goes over well. We're late in our life. He's starting a business late in his life, but it's going to be something that I know that he's talked about in the past for a while, and I know that he wants to do that, and I'm going to support him in every way I possibly can. It's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be a rainy weekend, but I got a feeling it's going to be a good weekend. There's going to be a lot of discussion this weekend, and I'm hoping to get my first interview or podcast with a guest. I don't really want to call it an interview. I'd rather have a discussion, conversation. That's where I like to go with things. But I'm hoping we're going to get that done this weekend. If I get everything set up how I want to set it up, this should happen. She's camera shy. I don't know if there'll be video. I'm hoping there will be. She is the love of my life, and I think that's where I should start my first conversation with, because there's nothing I enjoy more than talking with her. Anyway, I think that's all I got today. I hope you have a fantastic Friday and a fantastic weekend. I hope that you you enjoy life. Really. And if you're not enjoying life, look around you. See what you can change. See who needs changing. Who needs to come into your life? Who needs to leave your life? It's your world. Change it. Create the atmosphere that you want to breathe in. Well, that's kind of deep and silly. Anyway, until next time, I hope you have a great one, and I hope you find peace, love, and dreams.